Hello. Good morrow, everybody. It is almost 6 o'clock in the morning. It's my time. This is when I do my thing. I am either in the middle or the end or the beginning of a Hashimoto's flare up, which we'll explain. So I have Hashimoto's, and what that is that is my body is basically just like attacking my thyroid gland. I guess the blood tests are telling me. Basically, it would be safe to say that I have a holy thyroid. I guess a lot of people who have Hashimoto's, they have like a bunch of holes in their thyroid. I don't really know. I've never had like a biopsy or anything, or like an ultrasound or a sonogram on my thyroid. However, I do have the symptoms and the blood tests to show that I have Hashimoto's. And if you've looked back on my channel, I do have a video about it. But how I even discovered that I have Hashimoto's was I was going bald. I had like no hair right here. And a lot of the times when people find out that they have Hashimoto's, it is during a time of like great stress. We were remodeling our entire kitchen, and I can share pictures. It's very cute. It's very cottagey. But we bought this house in 2020, and it was it was built in the 80s, 1981, I think. Very, very stuck in the 80s. The person who owned this house was like an old man, but also a boy. Like I remember when we first toured the home, um, when we went to the master bathroom, there was a Game Boy by the toilet. So I was like, okay, this guy is cheating. And then the garage, well, we call it the garage now. It was just filled with cars, like little cars, car toys. So as a collector, man. Right now, I'm in the middle of a flare up, and every time I've ever had a flare up with Hashimoto's, it's been because of dairy. So like, I literally could look back on a calendar and be like, "Oh my gosh, this is the week that I had ice cream like 4 times. This is the week that I was going ham on yogurt. This was my high cheese week or whatever." So this week on Sunday, I had a ton of cheese. And I had cheese on my pizza. I had a pizza, basically, like a Quest pizza, which is a keto pizza. And it also uses casein and whey in their dough. So there you go. And then I had a protein bar for dessert. And then on Monday I had a couple of protein bars as well. Lots of casein. It's the protein in the milk that I'm sensitive to. It's not the sugary parts. It's the like the whey and the casein that mommy is sensitive to. So I have been frozen the last 2 days, which is a huge symptom of Hashimoto's. It's 77 degrees in my house, and I am in my Disney sweats and my rooster sweats. I also wanted to show off my Disney sweatshirt to let you guys know that I was at one point a Disney mamacita. This is just I got this. My husband actually bought this for himself. It was raining, and we went last year in November, I think. It was raining, or it might have been 2 years ago. It was raining, and he was wearing a white shirt, and you can see his nipples. So he's like, "I gotta go get another shirt." And this was a cheap one because I think it's a kid's top, like maybe a kid's extra large or kids. I don't know. It's a rugby sweatshirt, so it's supposed to be kind of like looser. But anyway, it looks cute on me. Mommy is warm. I'm warm. Also, I've been exhausted, which is another symptom of Hashimoto's. Is just like you could just lay down and just sleep forever. So yesterday I went to bed at 7 and I woke up at 4 this morning. What is that? That's like 9 hours, right? And so I woke up at 4 without an alarm because 9 hours straight is a lot, and I still feel like I could sleep some more. However, my brain is wired, but I still feel like I could just lay down. I still feel like I didn't get enough sleep, but I did. 9 hours is insane. I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life in a coma, okay? Anyway, I'm drinking some tea because again, I can't have coffee. Tea is also actually warming me up. I might have to change out of this or just take it off. Let me just take it off. Okay. So I'm in my jammies and we're gonna chat. Like for the Hashimoto's thing, I am fasting. That is usually my go-to when it comes to anytime I'm sick or anything like that. Not true. So when I'm sick with like a cold, mommy wants to eat nonstop. It's almost a compulsion. It's like a comfort thing because I used to eat for comfort. But anything else, like if I have like, you know, I'm having a flare up, so I'm fasting. A fat fast, but you can look it up. Anyway, let's get started. Let's start talking trash.
Trash.
So I was going to do a video. So first of all, I wanted to like show you guys. This is how I present myself a lot on Instagram. Is just me and my jammies because I am up mostly before 5 o'clock every day. Sometimes even on the weekends. My husband is a truck driver and we wake up together so that it's just easier. Like nobody's coming into bed like when the other person's trying to sleep and then waking him up. I am one of those people like when I wake up in the middle of the night, it's very difficult for me to sleep. So it's just so much easier for me to go to bed with him. Plus, we go to bed holding hands. He's my best friend, but we go to bed together because we just love each other and that's it. But yeah, I present myself a lot on Instagram in my jammies and my bedhead. I also don't want you guys to get used to like me being in like regular clothes. I don't know. I just feel like this is gonna be less pressure. If I just show you who I am, this is me.
This is me now. This is me now. This is me now.
Well, no, I was going to do a rant and rave. Well, not a rave, just a rant about just like random reels that I've saved that are fat activist coded, and I was going through some more, adding them to my saved pages here. I'll just give you like a little hint of what it looks like. I call it fat acceptance bull that pisses me off. That triggered me. So just a bunch of like random fat acceptance stuff. I will go into that. I just need to grab some more just so I have more to look at. But then I found this gal, Fat Dispatch, the Fat Dispatch. And then first of all, my head went here I'll show you what she looks like. My head went this she's fat because she's a dispatch. Like she's 911 dispatch. Do you guys know what that is? Anyway, because I've known a couple of 911 dispatches and they are large people because they sit on their butt all day and drink 2 liters of soda. But anyway, I saw her. I don't know if she's a dispatch. Know if she's a dispatch. Her bio says that she's an author, fat activist, and educator, author of The Fat Dispatch and More of You, the Fat Girl's Field Guide to the Modern World. She even has her own like Substack and webpage. Let me show you that. So this is her Fat Dispatch subs, or this is her webpage, but she does have a Substack. I'm not gonna get into that, but it's just like blog posts and everything. She's doing this is one thing I do want to get into her Ozempic Monday, but let's look at her reels and just start judging. Okay. So let's first of all, so she does these things. She just sits at her desk and does these like um handwriting to special messages, inspiration. She does that quite a bit. Don't be afraid to take up space. Literacy is our greatest civil right. Like just like writing, and it's not even it's ballpoint pen. It's not even like marker or pretty calligraphy pen. It's mid. The Fat Dispatch. It's mid. It's not great. And then she does more. It's just a lot of quotes. I don't know. Let's look at her reels though, because I just think I saw her and I was like, this girl is bugging me. I want to start earlier. Look how much. Look at her face. I would have sped this up, but it's another one of those. Let's see what she has to say. You don't need to shrink. It's just so like you can tell you're holding the phone. No, it's very unprofessional, to my opinion, of Instagram reelage.
So whatever you've got.
It's a lovely day today. I'm in my Target lilac sleeveless dress doing a little dancing and soaking up the sunshine. I hope your day is awesome. That's sweet. And that looks actually good on her. It looks also comfy and soft. Okay, so she's just showing off these dresses. Amanda is wearing a yellow dress and purple glasses, doing a little orange for the camera. Aren't you Amanda? Nope. Okay. All right, let's judge. I don't like when people wear navy with black. Said it. When people wear navy with black, I feel like you're trying to match black with black. For some reason, my brain goes, that doesn't match. But that is a cute skirt. I have a very similar one because mommy is a skirt gal. Lipstick. Okay, it's just this looks like pajamas to me. Sorry. Red. I think red is her color. If I'm going back to my color girly days, red is her color. That is a really cute dress. I would wear that dress. I have a similar dress to that. I actually might wear that dress today because it's 100% cotton and it's very warm and my office at work is cold. So she's wearing amethyst. Peace be with you. Yeah, it is amethyst. Okay, that's a cute top. I don't know if it's a cute dress. I actually think that if this was skirt or if this was shorts, it would be cuter. But anyway, so she is just showing her body she's just showing that you can be fat in the real world. However, she did get into some fat activism that I'm icky about. Okay, let's see what this says. You've known me as your body is good. Is a video? Oh, and I absolutely still believe that bodies are good. But I'm shifting my focus from body positivity to fat liberation. Ooh. Working to tear down the structures of size discrimination. Okay, you're going way too fast. As the Fat Dispatch is my new handle. Okay, y'all. Okay, maybe this is gonna talk about the dispatch thing because I'm so confused as to what she means by that. Okay, y'all. New handle dropping today. I'm no longer your body is good. I'm the Fat Dispatch. Image description. Oh, I don't know why. And maybe I'm just a jerk, but I kind of hate when people do the image descriptions on phones. I just feel like it's very performative. I don't know. Should I be doing that? Do you guys do that? If I'm wrong and I'm sorry. But I don't know. It just feels like somebody one day was just like, you should do that. And then people were like, I should do that. I am going to do that. Like, you can't think for yourself. I don't know. Think for yourself. Or maybe I should be doing it and I'm just a jerk and I don't really care, I guess. I should care more. Should I care more? I should care more. So yeah. I need to know why it's Fat Dispatch. Let's check the comments. Hell yes for liberation. You are liberated. If you're an American, what liberated from what? If anything, you are holding yourself back if you're, so large that you can't do some of the things that you want to do, like sit on a plane.
Don't like this term. They say that Ozempic quiets the food noise.
Okay, she is an anti-Ozempic queen, which I am also not a fan of Ozempic. Obviously, I'm more interested in you know, what's the word? Self-control. I think that that's better for you than using a medication. However, I do think that some people are like transforming their lives with Ozempic. If you are like so extremely obese, you don't want to get the surgery and Ozempic works for you, like good for you, right? I just hope that if you ever do get off the medication, you've hopefully the whole quieted food noise kind of sticks around so that you don't get fat again, I guess. I don't know the word. I don't, I hope that it sticks because I know that you're not like they say that if you are on a GLP-1 that you have to be on it for life, which I don't like that either. Let's see what she has to say.
Which I'm sure many of your listeners have what could be described as food noise, where you're thinking about what you're going to eat.
I have insane food noise. Okay, so personal thing. I have had a binge eating disorder for quite some time. Like I used to binge, I guess, you know. I had to figure out ways to stop like the food noise on my own. Obviously discovering the keto diet and being so my major thing with my binge eating disorder is it's not that I love food so much, it's that I love feeling full. Ever since I was a little kid, and obviously there's like reasons why. Like my parents divorced when I was 8. I remember the first time I ever did binge, it was on bologna sandwiches and I ate an entire loaf of bread with bologna. And what I used to do is I would just like take 2 slices of bread and then 1 piece of bologna and microwave that until like the bread was hard on the center, and that was like my comfort meal. I would eat that. And like I feel kind of bad now because my dad was a single dad, and so one income, and you are um, trying to feed your kid, and you think, "Oh, I'm gonna buy this bread. It's gonna be, you know, this is a great way to like feed my kids for cheap." And then my daughter just ate it in one day. Like I feel kind of bad now, but the food noise is still there. Like I still have. Sometimes I just have to like throw things away because um, if I know that it's in the house, I will want it. So, like, for another example, like, if we have okay, we're just doing a little treat. Let's get, like, a thing of cookies, and we'll just have, like, 2 cookies because I have prediabetes and I can't do too much. My instinct is to eat the entire thing of cookies, so I just have to, like, throw them away. I can't even, like, keep them for next time. So, when I when I do any kind of, like, special treat or, like, a special you know, a little cheat day, just a little treat, little sweet treat that is off plan. It has to be a single serving or like I have to throw it away because I do get like if it's in the house, I do have this thing in my head that tells me I need to eat the entire thing or just like eat only that until it's all gone. Like I need to finish it or just throw it away. So for some reason, I feel like she has a thing against food noise.
Next, all the time, how much you're going to eat, when you're going to eat it, if you need to hide the trash because you don't want someone else to.
That is another thing too, is like I would always think like I would be eating dinner and then I would be thinking, what am I having? Sorry, I'd be eating lunch and then I would be thinking, what am I having for dinner? What's for dinner? Um, I remember too when I was a kid, I would be eating lunch or something with my mom or breakfast with my mom and then asking her what's for dinner and then her being exhausted and be like, I just cooked breakfast. Like, what do you mean?
Figure it out. Like,
I feel like she is offended by the word food noise. Like, I feel like she thinks that that's like some kind of like slur or something like that.
how to not eat so fast so you don't make people think you are overindulgent. Like all of these obsessive thoughts about.
I do that. I eat fast. I eat like a kid who hasn't eaten in days sometimes. And I do need to slow down. But I do be eating fast. It's because I was fat.
Food.
Sure.
So those obsessive thoughts got quieter, but then I stopped eating.
That's not a bad thing.
And I wish that people could realize that the food noise that you're quieting actually is based in your hunger.
I think our hunger cues as a modern society have been distorted. We are so bombarded with food, instant food, fast food, food that you can microwave, food that you don't have to hunt, that I think our hunger cues are not real. I don't trust them anymore. Now I do, because I actually only eat when I'm hungry. And I've trained myself to do that, and it's taken years. And I eat enough, like, fulfilling things that I'm not constantly starving. Like when I was doing like low calorie, I hate low calorie, but I know that it works for some of y'all, and I'm happy for you, and I want it to work for you guys. Okay. However, I was always starving, and it was just never enough. I am a bulk eater. I like to eat a lot, but I also am not a bulk eater. Like I like to eat a lot. Like I like to feel full, and fat, like high fat helps me with that. So I am it took me a long time of being on the keto diet to like finally realize, oh, this is what a real hunger is. You know what I mean? Also, fasting helps as well. So like when you fast, it takes a long time. So I'm not suggesting that anybody just pick up fasting. You know, this is not for the faint of heart. This was absolutely necessary, honestly, for my health to do it, just because I was eating nonstop. I have the blood tests to tell me that, hey, you need to like chill out on eating so that your insulin levels can kind of drop a little bit, because bitch, you is fat. It took me a while. It took me years to like train my body to actually know what real hunger feels like, because my hormones were so jacked up from like all the insulin, high blood sugar, yada yada yada. There's a whole science behind it, and I can get to it in another episode. I can explain my diet, whatever you guys want. But we're talking about the fat dispatch right now, and food noise. And ma'am, I just don't think that hunger is reliable anymore. I don't think that actual in America, I'm assuming she's from America. If she's from Canada, sorry, but in America, I feel like Canada's the same though. In America, I just don't think that hunger in adults that look like that are is trustworthy. I don't.
When you don't eat enough, you have a lot of food noise because your body is like, whoa.
Not true. When I'm fasting, I think it's been so long when I'm fasting, especially like when you're in ketosis and you eat high fat, high protein anyway. I don't think that even when I refeed, I don't think I'm like ravenous. It's been a long time since I've been like ravenous, like how I used to be when I was 200 something pounds.
It's not just feeling hungry
I wish you would fucking talk faster.
in your tummy. It's like your brain is like, got to keep you alive. Let's eat. I
You are not going to die.
don't like this term. They say that
Oh God. Oh my God. I feel like she thinks that she's one of those people that is being like eradicated from Ozempic, and that the whole world wants to commit genocide on fat people. And it's like, bitch, you're a human being still. Like it's not the same. Like it's not the same. If you lose weight, that's not the same as genociding an entire nation or race. You stupid bitch.
Our bodies being
Okay. Wait a second.
our bodies being
I love her accent.
I
It sounds
don't
our bodies
it sounds like a cartoon.
our bodies being fat will not make love not love us.
I agree completely. And I also
What?
think
Our bodies being fat will not make love not love us.
I agree completely. And I also think
Our bodies will not make love not love us, and the Fat Dispatch agrees. Do you guys agree? I don't know what that means. And our bodies being fat will not make love not love us. Will not make love not love us. Am I stupid?
there is this poetic reality of fat bodies that expresses the abundance of God's creation, that it's a positive thing, like overflowing, packed down, spilling over the edges. Like that.
I won't get into theology, but I just think that you're not getting it.
That is God's provision.
God wants you to be fat. God wants you to hurt yourself like that.
You have a post called Sinners in the of a Skinny God.
Why are we getting to theology when it comes to being fat? I am so scared.
A parable for today. And you start that when saying, in the beginning, there was a God. And this God had the sleekest, trimmest body of all time.
Okay, what are we guessing the country that she's from? My initial guess is Spanish, but I also think Italian. Guess. Put your guesses in the comments.
God created humans with bodies, and while they
Oh, her last name is Makanov. I guess she's Russian or Albanian.
lived in God's organic garden, their bodies were perfect. No extra fat, just lean muscle, no pain or disease, just bodily bliss. God had just one rule: don't eat wrong. I mean, I loved it because it really resonates with the story in the Bible, which not only Catholics or Christians, but other religions will share in the Old Testament, although obviously not every religion.
Right.
What brought you to that retelling of the creation, I suppose?
I came up with this parable because there's a sermon.
Okay, let me read this. Amanda, the Fat Dispatch. Oh, is God skinny? God, personally, is the universe. So, like, nah, God's fat as fuck. Shares a parable of the modern times. We agree that God loves us whatever our bodies look like. We are all made in God's image. What if diet culture isn't just a set of rules, but a belief system that mirrors religion? Oh my God. We talk about how this mindset shapes our bodies, our faith, and our worth, and how to break free from it. People believe God is pleased with them when they are skinny or able bodied, but have we ever really thought about God having a body? God does not have that. I'm sorry. I know I said that we were going to talk about this, but like, I think she's wrong. And then also, if we believe in creators, guys, I don't care if you do or not. I personally do. We're all connected, whatever. I don't think that I think your creator would want you to do the best that you could do to remain healthy. If we have free will, why wouldn't you want to be healthy? But she clearly she thinks that she is healthy because she's feeding herself and she's trusting her food instincts and all that jazz.
You have another post that you called Diet Culture is a Religion.
Let's read this. Diet culture is a religion. Are you its disciple? In this week's episode of the Fat Psychologist podcast, Amanda, the Fat Dispatch, breaks down how diet culture mimics religion structures, rituals, mantras, moral codes, and all. I agree there. You know, I know that some people get very, very dogmatic when it comes to their diet. I used to. From gym as church to calorie counting as confession, we explore how the pursuit of thinness becomes an all-consuming belief system, a system we can break free from. Diet culture, binds people together in a moral community around fitness and bodies. She's not wrong. Like, I know that people take their way of eating very dogmatically. Is that the word? Especially like when it comes to like the extreme diets, like carnivore, even keto. Keto is I found a wonderful community in keto online. Even veganism. Veganism is extremely dogmatic. I feel like the major hitters here are going to be veganism and carnivore. And I used to be a carnivore. I'm not going to lie. Let's chat about that. I was carnivore for a year and a half when we lived in Oregon, which was like 5 years ago. And then I did mostly carnivore for the longest time. For the last like maybe 4 years, I was like what I would call ketovore. However, now I'm back on like just major keto, and extremely high fat, which has helped my hormones immensely. And I feel so much better. Like, being honest with you, I feel so much better now than I did ever when I was carnivore. So it's so nice to meet you. I'm so glad I was able to share that with you guys. Let's watch this.
Are you its disciple? To give some examples of how
I love her. What is her page? Oh, she's the Fat Psychologist. I'm gonna follow her. I think she is so cute.
diet culture functions as a religion. It binds people together in a moral community around the fitness of bodies. Everyone is expected to.
Okay, I guess I do like that she puts this stuff in her caption.
You wrote another entry that says, "My fat vocation. I am fat and disabled."
Using my fat voice to fight injustices.
Says, "My fat vocation. I am fat and disabled, among other things, being white, female, educated, and privileged. These two traits mediate how I see and experience the world. In my life, I have had huge dreams of changing the world, making it more just and kind and inclusive. These huge dreams usually involve me in perfect fitness and health and ability, though. So what do I make of my vocation?"
I saw this post the other day. It was like, how come whenever I have a like a daydream with me and like the love of my life, it's always me 40 to 60 pounds lighter. Like some people when they have like when they dream of their future, they're never in the body that they currently are. They're always like in a thinner body. I don't know. I think that's your subconscious telling you something. That's just me. That's just me.
And my weakness. And then you continue. But in my fatness and my disability, I can see the margins better than my thin and able-bodied peers. I can feel the pain of rejection because of my body. I can feel the isolation of being left out due to my disability.
You can tell Amanda is like, she's like, yeah, I did write those words, and now I'm feeling them again, and I'm very sad about being a fatty. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say fatty like that. She is not a mean person.
And I can use my
Like, it's clear the fat dispatch cares, and I'm judging.
voice and whatever platform I have to speak out against these injustices. I really love that because I've named this season of the podcast Happiness at Every Size. And to me, happiness is not necessarily about being in laughter or in joy all the time. Or it depends on the definition of joy, but it's about knowing that we're doing what we're here to do and supporting others. And
I like that. I love her. Oh my gosh. I literally am gonna I can't wait to get off this fucking video so I can go watch more and hear more of her beautiful voice.
She has this amazing video called Poodle Science that she illustrated. It's the idea that it would be absurd if we treated all dogs like poodles, because poodles have a very specific body type and a way they coif their hair. So if we just focused on making every dog look like a poodle, that would be absurd. Why do we focus on making every human body a poodle, right? Why?
Get that. I get that we're not. I mean, I like I said in my last video, I get that like there are different body types, like ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph. I remembered. But I think comparing I just don't think that it's a great comparison. Like obviously we're not going to treat we're not there's no like a Great Dane and a Chihuahua. I don't think that there's anything like that in the human realm. Well, I guess like a giant and then like a little person, but I when it comes like being fat is preventable. Being fat is preventable. Now, I will say that I know I'm not an idiot. Like I know because I've experienced myself. There are specific diseases and hormonal imbalances that cause you to gain weight. Like if you have a pituitary thing, I get it. And you can actually look at somebody and see like and be like, "Yo, that's pituitary," right? And I'm sure that people with pituitary stuff know, "Hey, this isn't normal. I'm going to try and fix this," right? If I can. Also, people with PCOS, you can look at somebody most of the time, especially if they're eating a shit ton of sugar and carbs, and I have PCOS. It's very difficult to like lose weight. But you can look at somebody and be like, "Yo, I think that's PCOS." However, it is not impossible to lose weight when you have PCOS. You can do it. I did it. I do have PCOS. It's not like a normal PCOS. We'll get into I'm gonna do like an introductory, like another video that goes over all of my shit, but
Why do we focus on that instead of embracing body diversity like in trees? There's so many.
we're not trees and we're not dogs. I'm so sorry, Amanda. We are not. And like this all this extra is unhealthy. That's why. That's why. Like, are you healthy? I mean, it's your right to not be healthy. The problem is when you know that you're not healthy and you spout that that all of this is completely fine is wrong, in my opinion.
She doesn't need
Proof of life reel. I'm alive. I started. Oh, that was nice. Okay, I started teaching 5th grade reading about 5 weeks ago, and I have been radio silent since because I'm still trying to get my feet under me. But I had a joyful moment to catch a small video of y'all for this morning. I'm in my teacher era and loving it. I almost became a teacher. Like I literally like beginning of this year, I was like, I'm gonna get my degree because in Florida, all you need is a degree and you can teach anything. So I was gonna get my degree in business. Even though like why would you get a degree in business if you're gonna go teach elementary school? Because in Florida I can do that, right? And I wanted to back up. Shoot me. We're desperate for teachers here. And but then I decided, no, I have a great job. I love my job that I currently have. I do dispatch for like shipping containers. And my office is like super tiny. There's only 3 of us and we're all like chill, and I love my boss. My boss is like probably the best boss I've ever had. So I was like, why on earth would I ever get a teaching job if I have like a great job and I know exactly what I need to do. Every day I come into work, there's nobody I have to deal with except for customers, which I actually do love customer service. Um, I don't have to deal with like snot-nosed kids, and I get paid perfect for me, exactly what I feel like I need. I'm pretty good with my money, you know? Yeah, I was like, "No, I'm not gonna be a teacher, sorry." But it would be fun. It would be fun, especially having the holidays or like yeah, holidays and like the summer off. But then I'm also one of those people that's like, if I had the summer off, like what would I be doing? Eating, right? Because I'm fat. Okay, next. Oh, that's the beginning of her. Did we go through all of her things? Oh, we did. Okay, so yeah, let's go to her website now. The Fat Dispatch. I'm still confused. Why is it the Dispatch? Why are you Dispatch? I need to know. No Ozempic Mondays. GLP-1s and hunger. I'm just going to kind of read through here really quick. There's a trope going around that it's a very common assumption that obesity is caused by an addiction to food. It is, most of the time, Amanda. It is. Indeed, there are addiction treatment programs that are using GLP-1s to combat addictions other than food, leaning into this trope. If it works for food addiction, they reason it can work for opioids, and the like. Wow, I didn't know that. There are addiction treatment programs that are using GLP-1s. Okay, that's interesting. But here's the problem with this line of reasoning. Obesity isn't caused by addiction to food because food addiction isn't a thing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is absolutely a thing. I've suffered from food addiction in my past, and it's again, it's not like you're addicted to any particular food. Like some people, I'm addicted to hot Cheetos. I actually do think that that's possible, but it's the addiction to like when you eat, especially if you're eating for comfort, like if you are an emotional eater, like I was, if you eat it releases the same thing that like dopamine, endorphins, like all of the other things, especially if you're like a secret eater, that releases endorphins because you're like, I don't want people to know that I'm eating. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can be addicted to food. It's absolutely possible. And this is false information. False. That's it. Oh, keep reading with a 7-day free trial. Ugh, you bitch. That is rude. Okay, what? Anyway, she's obviously against Ozempic. Let's go to her other stuff. Put my email in here? Thank you. She's trying to take my data? Okay, Ozempic Monday. GLP-1s and romance. Welcome to Ozempic Monday, a weekly installment for my paid subscribers. Thank you for being here. Ozempic Monday is a resource for those who are wary of the weight loss claims and diet culture that surround GLP-1 use. Think Ozempic, Wegovy, Manjaro, and those who are interested. Okay, today I want to continue the conversation about GLP-1s and romance. If you've been subscribed for a while, you'll remember that we talked about this topic back in February, and around Valentine's Day, I wrote a piece for the Fat Dispatch called Post Ozempic Romance. Let's read that. Okay. Oh, and it's free. Okay. Post Ozempic Romance. Today I learned there is a study that shows that people who have had bariatric surgery have an increased risk for self murder and self hurting. That sucks. I will cover bariatric. That sucks. Oh my gosh. I will cover bariatric surgery in another issue of the Fat Dispatch, but for now, I'll just say that really sucks. Today, I also learned that a study has shown that bariatric surgery affects interpersonal relationships, specifically marriage. Okay, I actually have seen this where I've seen like people who have been gigantic their entire life, they get bariatric surgery and then they like go through a divorce because one, they either see themselves as more worthy of other people, I guess. So they look at their spouse and they go, bye. Or they continue to be healthy and their spouse who has enabled them their entire life is either wanting to continue enabling them and making them eat junky, or their spouse didn't get gastric bypass or bariatric surgery and they are still eating like shit, and it's just like this is not the same vibration anymore. Like we are not on the same level, and that can ruin marriage. According to Swedish researchers, bariatric surgery patients have a higher risk of divorce if they are married and a higher chance of getting married if they are single. Ooh. Both of these studies seemingly imply that post bariatric surgery people are in a state of emotional flux as well as physical. There is no surprise to me, given that how we feel is often connected to our bodies, to how our bodies are perceived by society. When a body changes due to bariatric surgery, it'll be perceived differently by society, most of the time as better. Yeah. So like when you get skinny, like people definitely treat you different. The parallel with body change due to weight loss medications is not a hard jump to make. When a body changes due to weight loss medication, that person is probably going to be in an emotional as well as physical flux, which in turn affects their interpersonal relationships, particularly their romantic relationships. All right, let's get to the meat of this. Oh, there is no meat. It's just fat. GLP-1 use has the potential to upend all sorts of relationships. Friendships, check. Work relationships, check. Random people on the street, check. But especially romantic relationships because of how their bodies are typically involved. Sex. Sexy time. Why does a weight loss drug have so much potential impact? Because of how poorly fat people are treated in society. Maybe you inhabit a fat body like me. If you don't, you can imagine, I'm sure, the difference in how you would be perceived if you went from fat to average to thin over the course of a few months. I can imagine how much easier life would be if you were thinner. Vulnerable moment. I actually do imagine that a lot. No shit, because I'm sure like you probably sit down and sometimes be like, "Damn, I can barely fit in the seat," or like lifting my leg to get into the shower is hard. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the minute it was difficult for me to get into the shower, I'd be like, "Michael," that's my husband's name. "Michael, I need you to like tie me down and just give me broth or something until I can fucking lift my leg up." Have you heard of the years old episode of This American Life in which Elna Baker describes her weight loss journey and how it affected her relationships? It's a must listen, but with a major content warning: intentional weight loss, specific numbers and sizes. Oh my God. First of all, I know you're not a patriot because this is so un American to be this. Oh my God. If you are triggered by that, like, fucking go to bed. At one point, she asks her husband if at one point she asks her husband if he would have still pursued her if she had been fat when they met. Ooh, his response awkward. Something about how this is the real her now, and it made her wonder. I wonder if my husband would love me if I were fat. I've never had to wonder this because my husband married me as a fat lady. Kind of. He's also not like a skinny guy. So if you guys want to hear my husband, and I'll show pictures of us when we first met and when we got married. My husband met me when I was like a drug addict and I was like super duper skinny and I was in the midst of like, my eating disorder or one of them that I've had in the past. Anyway, but yeah, he met me when I was super skinny and when we got married, I had gained maybe like 20 or 30 pounds, 20 pounds, I think. And then he saw me go from 145 to like 230. But, like, I asked him recently, actually this weekend, I was like, "Do you think that if you met me when I was fat, would we still be together?" And he had said that, like, he's always liked bigger girls, and then when he met me, he could tell that I was unhealthy, like, he could tell that that wasn't the body that I was meant to have, like, he could tell that it wasn't, like, a natural skinny, if that makes sense, like, I wasn't naturally skinny. I feel like I'm always gonna be thick. I don't think I'll ever be skinny like that again, and I don't really want to be, but he could tell that I wasn't naturally skinny and then he's always liked thicker gals, so. At the time of my marriage, I was a small fat. Is that a small fat? Over the years, my body has changed and grown, and now I'm somewhere in the mid-fat range. What year was this taken? Because I don't think that she's in the mid-fat range. This is in February. Hunty, you are not mid-fat. I don't think you're mid-fat. I am so sorry if that's mean. That's a cute outfit. I love that skirt. I love a skirt with a button at the top at the front. Oh, the chucks. Okay, we're vibing, but that's not mid-fat, sorry. Okay, you can read more of my journey, but it coincided. Oh, she was on Ozempic before. We'll have to touch base back with her again. I lost weight, but because I lived in a larger body, my weight loss wasn't very noticeable. I'm still very fat. My clothes were looser, neutral, and my A1C was controlled, positive. But what about romance? Did it change? I honestly hadn't thought about it until the NYT mag piece. Let's look at it for a moment. I want to know if okay, that's weird. All right, Lisa Miller enters the article on Jean and Javier, a couple married for 15 years. They originally met in high school, but reconnected 20 years later after both of their first marriages had ended. When they got married, Javier was heavier at 260 pounds, and Jean was at her lightest at 160. Over the years, their bodies have changed, with Javier getting into Peloton and getting trimmer, while Jean had gained weight. And in the 10 months since Jean started taking Zepbound, a GLP-1 put out by Lilly, specifically for weight loss, they haven't had sex. FYI, it's the same drug as Mounjaro, just marketed for weight loss instead of diabetes. Since Zepbound, Jean has said she finds it easier to say no to things that she doesn't want, like sex, for example, which she says she hasn't been interested in for 5 years. That may be the drug or the antidepressant she's been on and off of for years, or menopause, which I think it's that, menopause, which Jean has recently experienced. According to the article, some of that has to do with the physical changes. Javier misses the girth of Jean's old body, how it would drape over him. It's softness, but it's Jean who puts the brakes on intimacy. That surprised me when I read it. You would think since she's in a smaller body, she would feel more confident naked. Jean even says that she and Javier are more evenly matched physically, but no, I'm very much in flux, Jean says, like I haven't caught up to my body. Whatever the reason for their lack of sex, since Jean started Zepbound, Javier and Jean say the relationship is as hard as it's ever been. They fight, and it's explosive. Sounds like they just need to be like in couples therapy instead of like on a magazine. It's more than just physical attributes that change about Jean. However, she is no longer extroverted as she used to be. Okay, it sounds like it's menopause, or even like I don't think that I don't know. I'm not a doctor or a therapist or God. She doesn't drink anymore. She wonders if she and Javier are still a match. Him, the outgoing person, life of the party. Yeah, this is hormonal. Like honestly, it's just like when people get off of birth control and then they look at their spouse and they're like, "Oh my god, I fucking hate you. Like I really don't like you. I don't know what do you mean we're married, right?" Um Menopause can do the same thing. So it's just you're losing all these hormones that you used to be like flooded with. And so she's probably just going through menopause and realizing her husband is annoying as fuck. And I'm pretty sure it'll go away soon. Or she needs to get like on some hormones or something like that. But or maybe she doesn't love him and they should just divorce. Me no no. In conversations with her therapist, Jean is beginning to understand that her anger at Javier is erupting in the context of her fury at the wider world, where she feels newly visible and acceptable. I feel like there's a different perception of me when I'm the same person. I'm just 60 pounds lighter. Jean feels like the same person in so many ways, but she has changed in so many ways as well. And they don't tell you about those possible side effects when you're getting counseled on taking GLP-1s. The anger that people can't see past fatness. Oh, the anger that people can't see past fatness to one's personhood. The antipathy? The antipathy? I've never heard of that word. A deep-seated feeling of dislike and aversion. Oh my god, I'm adding that to my fucking vocabulary list. The antipathy. Am I saying that right?
Antipathy.
Antipathy. Wow, I'm a dumbass. Toward a system that keeps fat people down and rewards thin people. The absolute rage of when fatness is still seen as a negative personality trait that needs to be changed somehow. I feel all of that even more acutely since taking Ozempic. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up because I want to come back to the Fat Dispatch and I need to do some more research on her Ozempic days. This is a picture of her and her husband. I feel like she overfilled her eyebrows, but okay, whatever. I do want to go back to her eventually, and I want to see how she did on Ozempic. So, but if you stayed through all the way, I appreciate you coming here and enjoying my rants. And sorry if this one, I mean, they're all going to be a little bit disorganized, but I feel like we're okay with that. As a community of anti-fat acceptance, we are okay with the disorganization and just, finding these new people that we've never seen before, I guess. I've never heard of I have heard of the Fat Dispatch. However, I've never deep dove. I remember seeing her do those like the word things and being like her handwriting sucks, but that's because I'm a handwriting snob. Like I love watching calligraphy videos and all that jazz. But yeah. So if you are still here at the end of the video, what did you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you believe in food noise? Do you think that's like a legit thing? Are you on the Fat Dispatch team and believing that food addiction and food noise are, not legit? Not legit to quit. If you don't want to comment, please just leave me an emoji or something. Like leave me a tea emoji because that's what we did. We drank some tea and we spilled some tea. Thank you. Goodbye.